I've noticed this especially with some men who seem to think Trump's behavior is somehow a sign of strength. You know, sort of the macho, fake macho thing, and you know, I'm here to tell you that's not what real strength is. It never has been. Real strength is about helping people who need it and standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. That is what we should want in our daughters and our sons, and that is what I want to see in the next president of the United States of America.
I have never worked on or covered a campaign where someone had to say that strength is not the bully. Strength is not the person picking on legal immigrants living and working in Ohio. Strength is not focused on the enemy within. Strength is not using the United States military against fellow Americans. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I saw this post the other day that really spoke to me, that if you have to turn off a president's rally because you don't want your kids to hear it, that person's probably not fit to be the president of the United States. And you saw what we all saw at this Madison Square Garden rally. I would never let my kids listen to that, the type of language that was being used and the way we were talking about fellow Americans. And you're a fellow parent, you know, as we're trying to raise our kids and teach them about strength and empathy and community and taking care of one another. And we're holding our 3-year-olds to a higher standard than the former president of the United States as we watch a schoolyard bully try to take the White House back by dividing us and saying things about every single person he perceives to be different and an enemy, and in ways that we would never allow our kids to say and that we would never want them to hear. So I'm grateful that President Obama gave that speech, but it is a reminder that leadership is also what you say and how you make people feel. And when I listen to Kamala Harris and think about the work that she will do on behalf of my kids, I feel something as a dad. I see a true leader, someone who cares deeply about families, not someone who's spending their time attacking people and saying such vicious, horrible, mean-spirited things about our fellow Americans. And that, I think, is a testament of whether someone is fit to be our president, if they care about us in the way they speak about us.
Yeah, I mean, the distillation is so stunning. Trump has permitted the country to see his message distilled down to Puerto Rico as a garbage can in the middle of the ocean, Americans who disagree and dissent as the enemies within, and conduct that would get his conduct both online and his public speech would get him kicked out of any school, public or private, in the nation. You can't bully like that. And frankly, the conduct of the Republican enablers. Most schools will expel not just the bully, but the people who watched and did nothing. That is today's Republican Party.
I mean, watching and learning, I guess I should say, that those jokes were pre-approved, right? Those jokes that were said at Madison Square Garden, those were loaded into a teleprompter. Those were approved. The Republican Party and Donald Trump's campaign approved those comments being made about fellow Americans. And then I watched Kamala Harris. And then I listened to Tim Walz. And as a parent, you know, I'm focused on a couple things: strengthening education, making sure that somebody's taking gun safety seriously in this country, protecting a woman's right to choose, and then enhancing things like paid family leave, things that benefit families, making sure people can afford a home, start a small business, things that everyday families care about in Michigan. And then you see a party approve comments like that, say, this is who we are. This is how we feel about our fellow Americans. And I think a lot of people are ready to reject that once and for all and turn the page, and hopefully we have a lot to celebrate next week.
I mean, we get to look at this together. I mean, these people are ready to do just that. This is a crowd gathering in Washington, D.C. on the ellipse to see the vice president. What do you hope to hear from her tonight?
Again, that strong closing message. I want her to talk directly to families like ours across this country. You know what it's like to have a hectic night at home, and you've put food on the table and you want to get your kids down to bed, and you don't want to tune into politics all day, every day.
Ever.
And if you turn on a speech and you want to know what Kamala Harris thinks about this country and and who she's fighting for. I think you're going to see it in tonight's message. She's going to focus on the economy and making sure you can start a small business, you can afford a home, making sure we strengthen our Department of Education, not like Donald Trump who wants to gut it.
Get rid of it.
And giving our teachers a raise and the respect that they deserve, right? Doing right by folks in our armed services. I mean, I can't wait for her to deliver that closing message and to inspire all families across the country. And hopefully they turn out at the ballot box and knock some doors this weekend.